Hi everyone, this is Nareen Sai with MS. I am Nareen, and welcome to a Soulful Saturday. And was my Saturday soulful? I'd say so. It was a little noisy though, and I'll tell you why it was noisy. So, I am currently also consulting a doctor in Australia, and he wanted an update of my MRI, and I haven't had an MRI for about 4 years now. So, I decided to get an MRI, and this was a very new hospital that opened up, I think, within the last month. So they were offering, a sale, you can say a sale on MRIs and all the different tests that you can do. So got a pretty cheap offer on getting all of my MRIs done, brain and spine included. So said all right, and this was, this MRI was slightly different because this was the first time I was also getting music alongside, the MRI cacophony that comes in. And I mean, so the music was diverse. That's the best way to say it. I mean, there was a time where, the pop music started getting boring, and I was just thinking that, oh, I wish I got like some Evanescence or something. And literally, I kid you not, the next song that played was Bring Me to Life. But then that is where like Evanescence ended, and something else came up, and then there were lots of different types of music, and then somehow in between the music stopped. So I'm just listening to, the regular MRI sounds, and they're going on and going on and going on. And then the music starts, bah! And I've tried so hard not to freak out in this like little metal tube that I'm in, which is of course the MRI machine. And considering that whichever MRI operator pretty much sets you up for the MRI, they tell you, do not move. So it's always, such a fear that, as it is, there are so many loud sounds that you're trying to remain as calm as possible. And then considering that they added music into the entire thing, and the music is also at a noise level, comparative to the MRI sounds, which are also very loud. I come out and I'm practically screaming to everyone that was there in the waiting room that they had music, and I was listening to it, but then the music stopped and then it started again, and I was I practically had a spasm running through it. But it was, I'd say, definitely a little more pleasurable of an experience just to focus on something besides all of the MRI sounds, trying to make words out of it. I definitely, during the MRI sounds, I did hear a new one, and it actually sounded like they were saying my name during it. Like I kept hearing Nareen, Nareen, Nareen in between the, beeps and baps and boops and all of that, um, which was a little unnerving. So I was kind of glad that I had the music during that time. But with that said, I mean, MRIs, you either love them or hate them. Um, but, you really, I mean, if you need one, you really can't live without it. So let me know, what are your thoughts on an MRI? I mean, for me, I tend to find it very, at least a point in time, despite all of the sounds, the noise, the music also hiked up to a volume that might normally render a person deaf for a little bit, or at least hearing impaired for a little bit. um, it I find a little bit of peace and solitude in it. I think it's probably because they keep the MRI room at, I think, of 16 or a 20 degrees Celsius. So you're, nice and cool, and then they cover you up with a blanket, so you're nice and warm as well, and you're very comfortable. And I was pretty comfortable. I mean, the MRI lasts about an hour. Um, my shoulder does hurt. I know that I do have something on the left side of my shoulder which does end up getting stiff, so it started hurting towards the end. But considering it was towards the end and the music was also getting a little odd, I kind of dealt with it. So yeah, do share your views, insights, inputs on whether or not you like MRIs, because they're there, and regardless of how noisy they can be, they definitely do share something. And once the reports come out, hopefully there will be good news. The good news being that there hasn't been any significant change over the past few MRIs. There hasn't been anything new that has been happening in my body. um, so at least I have, and I have test results to prove it. So that is pretty much all I have. But yeah, do share your thoughts about what you like or dislike about the MRI. Did I dislike or like the fact that there was music? I mean, I did like it. I wish it was a little quieter, but then at the same time, it's not like just because I'm listening to the music, um, I can't hear the MRI sounds. I mean, they were about, like I said, they were of comparable volume. So at one point in time, either one could be loud enough to like render me, at least a little impaired in my hearing for, you know, at least a couple of minutes. So with that said, this was Nareen Sai with MS. I am Nareen. I hope you're having a great Saturday and you're all ready and rested up for the end of the weekend, because it is coming. But, and with that said, I mean, I wish you a good night. Hope you are doing very well. And of course, do share your input so that we can get the conversation started. Bye.